Hey, history buffs! Today I'm peeling back the layers on one of the most enigmatic figures in history, Hassan-i-Sabbah, the founder of the infamous assassins, or as they were known, the Hashashin. This guy's life reads like a thriller novel, but there's more myth than reality in the tales we've heard. Let's dive into his origins. Hassan-i-Sabbah was born in 11th century Persia, a time when the Seljuk Empire was flexing its muscles. He was a highly educated man, deeply influenced by the Fatimid Caliphate's teachings. So how did he go from a scholar to the head of a shadowy network of assassins? Well, it all starts with Alamut, a fortress perched high in the mountains, which became the nerve center of his operations. Now, you've probably heard wild stories about these assassins, right? Tales of them consuming hashish, performing daring assassinations, and then vanishing into thin air. But were they really that legendary? The truth is, much of what we know comes from the pens of their enemies, the Seljuk writers, who had every reason to paint them as monstrous fiends. Yes, the assassins did carry out targeted killings, often of high-profile political or military leaders. But these acts were more strategic than sensational. They aimed to sow fear and destabilize their enemies, but they were far from the mindless, drug-crazed killers of legend. And speaking of hashish, there's little solid evidence that they indulged in it as much as the stories suggest. The assassins were actually quite sophisticated. They built a network of strongholds stretching across Persia and Syria, using espionage and psychological warfare as much as physical violence. They were masters of disguise and infiltration, blending into enemy territories with ease. What about the broader conflict? The world of Hassan-i-Sabbah was a battleground between the Sunni Seljuks and the Shiite Fatimids. The assassins found themselves right in the middle of this tug-of-war. Their actions were as much about survival as they were about ideology. They were carving out a space for themselves in a highly volatile landscape. So, what's Hassan-i-Sabbah's true legacy? He was a visionary leader who used unconventional tactics to challenge the mighty Seljuk Empire. His assassins were not the supernatural beings of legend, but a disciplined and strategic group fighting for their cause. Their story reminds us that history is often written by the victors, and the truth can be far more complex than the myths we inherit. So next time you hear a tall tale, remember to dig a little deeper. History is full of surprises. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this dive into the past, don't forget to like and subscribe for more historical revelations.